Today we're learning how to properly sew on a button. If you've never learned and have just been winging it this whole time, this is the tutorial for you. Start by removing the old buttons with a seam ripper or small scissors and pull out any leftover threads. Now let's measure out our thread. I use my arm as a guide. Fun fact, the distance from your wrist to your elbow is roughly your shoe size in inches, and I'm about a size 10, so I always use that as my measuring stick. For this, we want about 12 inches of thread doubled, so give yourself a little bit of extra just to be safe. Thread your needle, double the thread, and tie a knot at the end about 3 to 4 times. Push your needle through your fabric so that the knot sits snug against the front. Just be gentle so that it doesn't pull all the way through any old holes. Then trim off the tail near the knot. Next, make a second stitch without pulling it tight. Use your thumb to hold the loop open and slide a toothpick or an embroidery needle in this case. This gives your button some breathing room so that your buttonhole can fit underneath the button when it's closed. Add a couple extra stitches over your placeholder to keep it in place while you stitch. This will make sewing the button so much easier. Now grab your button and position it right on top. Start stitching through the buttonholes and the fabric. I went with a cross stitch pattern, but you can also do parallel lines, whatever fits your vibe. This is really a choose your own adventure. Go through each direction about 3 to 4 times or until your button feels secure. Once the button is securely in place, remove the space holder and wrap your thread around the base of your button 6 or 7 times. This will create a shank so that your button doesn't sit flat against the fabric. To finish, pull the thread to the back of your fabric. Then, without pulling your needle all the way through, slide your needle under the fabric and wrap the thread around the tip of your needle about 3 times. This is my absolute favorite knot because it's secure and it's simple. Pull the knot tight, guiding it down with your thumb so that it sits flush against the fabric. Then snip the thread. You can weave the tail through the fabric if you want to hide it a little bit better, but for this jumper, I just trimmed it and that's it. One securely sewn button ready to wear. Save this post for your next project and happy stitching!